Welcome, Leesa, to Beauty for Ashes and WCR. We are so honored to host you here this evening, and thank you for accepting our invite.
Thank you, Kirshni, for actually inviting me over. It's such an honor and a privilege to actually be with you on the show today. And thank you to the listeners for actually taking the time to listen.
I know many people are looking forward to hearing about you and your new song release. We're so excited. So, Leesa is a vocalist, a composer, and an artist, and she is one of the worship leaders at Durban Christian Center. She is also a vocal coach, and we will be giving out her details later on in the show. So tell me, Leesa, where did your passion and zeal for music begin? You know, I remember hearing you for the first time a few years ago, that was when you came to Amzinto. I don't know if you remember, you'd come for a concert with the DCC team. It was a little
Yes.
Amzinto, yes, and that was the first time that I had heard you. And I understood, you know, why they call you the songbird. So, so tell me, where did your passion and zeal for music begin?
Oh, wow. When I've been asked that question so many times recently that I've actually started to prepare before somebody actually interviews me with that question.
Yes.
Asked that question so many times, but and I sat back one of the days recently. I think it was last week sometime, and I thought to myself, where did this all begin? And to be quite honest with you, this may sound very super spiritual, but this actually began when God decided to create Leesa.
Wow.
I mean, if you think about it, the passion for worship and the passion for music is not something that is trained in a person, or it's not something that somebody learns, but it's something that's within them. So it started from the time I was born. I was privileged enough to be born in a house of a musician, which
Wow.
actually me to that. My dad is a musician, and he was part of his worship team. And I had grown up hearing music. I'd grown up around worship sessions in our home with just my mom and my dad, and the guitar, and myself, and I have a little brother, but he's not so little anymore. But we grew up in an environment where we were inundated with worship and with music. So
Yes.
that's the humble beginning that I have, and that's where it all started to manifest, I would say.
Yes. Wow. So, you know, one of the main reasons why I asked you is because of the song that you've just released, the song called
Oh yeah.
Brave. Okay? And it's so profound, especially in today's times. I think we needed that motivation to carry on during these times. And I've listened to it on YouTube a number of times, and I promise you it's on my personal favorite playlist at the moment. So I want
Oh,
to know, Leesa, what inspired you to write the lyrics of this song? Where did it start?
oh gosh. I just did a video to thank people, the Facebook family, for this. And I said in that video, I had said, listen, I take no credit for the writing of this song, because this song, I was just entrusted with the responsibility of being the messenger to everybody as to the message that God wanted them to know.
Oh, that's powerful.
Uh, this track, I would say to you, I'm grateful that I had the opportunity of working with Joshua Gray from Gray Studios. But could have been July last year. Around this time, I remember it being a really, really cold night, and in a deep, I was in deep sleep, and I was dreaming, I was singing, and I know I was singing in front of the Father. I know I was singing in front of the Father, but it wasn't a normal setting, it was different. And I was singing this song, and I could hear the orchestra behind me. I could hear different types of musical instruments, but I was singing this song. And in my semi sleep, I started to realize, hey, you know what, this is a song that this is not a known song. This is something that's coming from heaven. And in my sleep, I had like gotten my phone, because it's always by my bedside. I took my phone and I started to hum the melody that I was hearing. And then
Right.
I took my notepad. I know some people may think, oh my God, this is like she's trying to be so spiritual here, but this is the true
Right.
story. And
Exactly.
I opened up the notepad and I started to write down the words that I could hear. And the reason why I started doing this because I didn't want to wake up, like literally wake up, because I was so afraid if I wake up, I might not get this track. I might
Yes.
not capture. And I just started, I mean, I had my my voice recorder just running, and I kept singing the lines over and over and over and over, and I just kept writing and writing. And when I eventually said, okay, it was like everything had just stopped. So I had gotten up the next morning, and we were already starting to work on a particular track in studio. And I called Josh, and I said, Josh, listen, just stop that track. I know we've tracked and things, but just stop that one. This track is what I want to do. And when we got into studio and we actually started putting things together in our like a run through session, when Josh I had come back, and then it must have been a week later, Josh has sent me the entire idea of what he heard from voice notes and from all the million things that I gave him.
Yes.
And I stood in my kitchen amazed, because everything that I had heard in my dream was now coming to life.
Reality. Yes.
And it was amazing. And I said this to him when I went to actually check the song. I said, Josh, it's as if you were in my dream.
Right.
And he laughed. No, I mean, I'm just taking what I'm hearing you saying, and I'm actually putting what I think goes with it. So this track is not something that, I mean, I have released tracks before,
Yes.
and I like all the tracks that are released. And I always thought Adonai was my favorite track until I started listening to that. And now remember, this track was written in August 2019.
Teen.
We
Yes. Yes.
recorded we recorded it in January 2020. And then
Wow.
because of the lockdown, and because of there was some equipment that Josh was waiting from overseas that got tied up, so we couldn't complete the track. There's a whole lot of stuff happening that it was just delayed. And I was getting so frustrated. I even had said to one of my friends, I said, I'm getting so frustrated because I want this track to be released, but it's as if something is just blocking it. But I didn't realize that God the Father was actually holding back the track, because
Exactly.
He wanted it to be released now because of the season. I mean, I didn't know that I would be infected with the virus and be at death's door, you know. I had no idea that all of that would happen to me. But when I had come out of hospital, and I was having a shower, and I normally play music when I'm in the kitchen, or that's just me. And this track started to play, and I burst into a million tears, because I realized that I had written a track that was so relevant to what I just came out of.
Exactly.
Because it
Yes.
speaks about being alone, and when you have the virus, there's nobody around you but yourself. Nobody, not even nurses, doctors, nobody. And this track just hit me, and I phoned Josh and I said, Josh, let's get this thing moving. Let's just get the oils in this wheels turned. I mean, let's just get this the wheels oiled, and let's just get this thing moving, because this is the time. This is the
Yes.
time. I remember, Josh, this is the time. And he said to me, yeah, let's get this thing sorted. And within a few weeks, we had gotten it done. And then it just so happened, somebody said, hey, this track needs a music video. And I said, yeah, that's not a bad idea. And the music video just fell into place. There was no hassles. There was nothing. It just fell into place. So this is brave. I mean, my whole idea and my whole intention of releasing this track was never to become famous or never to let Leesa be heard. Because those of you that know, the people that know how I sing, you know I can do chops for Africa. But I kept this track absolutely simple, no vocal runs, nothing hectic with my vocal, nothing hectic with the music, because I wanted the message from the lyrics to come across louder than anything else. Because I believe strongly that this is God's direct message to people, telling them that no matter what you face, I'm going to be there and you will be brave because of me.
Wow, Lisa, when you were telling your story, it actually gave me goosebumps. And, it brought a verse into mind, Ecclesiastes 3 verses 1, where it says, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter, under heaven." So God definitely ordained this song. He put an idea in your head so that you'll be able to get everything into motion for this season and for such a time as this. And it strikes home, that you were infected with the virus. I mean, I didn't even know that. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay, did I not mention that to you before?
No. So this is definitely one. In fact, we've had so much of response with regards to the virus and people that we know that have been infected. If you'd like, I'm definitely going to have you on the show to speak about the virus and how it impacted you and infected you in a totally different manner. On one of medical Wednesday shows.
Yeah, that is like a completely whole show on itself, because it affects not just you as a person in your body, your physical body. It affects you emotionally. It affects your family emotionally, because nobody is able to come near you. Nobody's able to
Yes.
help you. No one's able to touch you. It is. But you know what? I believe that God allowed me to go through that season, because there was a point where I said, you know what? I'm turning 40 this year. Maybe it's time I start focusing on different aspects of music rather than actually being in the forefront of music. And having the virus actually shifted my thinking to say, okay, God, no, listen. When it's time and when you call me home, that's when I'm going to stop singing.
Wow.
So
That's beautiful. Stay tuned, guys. We have more from Leesa Gerald coming up. Right now, we have the song that she's just released, one of my favorites at the moment, and it's called Brave. Do enjoy. Welcome back, guys, and in studio with me today, I have songbird Leesa Gerald. If you have missed the first part of the interview, do catch it tomorrow morning. There will be a repeat between 8 to 9. You're listening to WCR, and this is Kirshni Perumal. So let's get on with the rest of our interview with dear Leesa. So Leesa, tell us, apart from music, what are your other interests? Like I'm sure that there's so much more to Leesa that we don't know, and that, we haven't heard of yet. So is there anything that you can tell us about yourself?
okay, I think I'm one of the most, I would consider myself fun.
Right.
But I think my kids would think I am in a corporate environment. I work for one of the largest companies in SA. So that is basically Leesa during the week from Monday to Friday, business meetings, traveling all over, and for fun, I love going for like hikes, and I love going to spending time with my family. I make time for my husband and my kids, because I believe
Yes.
that is very, very important. A lot of people have had instances where they had invited me on a Sunday afternoon to the events, their functions, and I declined, not because of any other reason or anything else, but because I believe family is important. And apart
Right.
from God the Father the most important person. My line, my personal beliefs is it's God the Father, your family, your work, and then it's your service.
Yes.
So a lot of people mistake and they place these different avenues in the different order, and it messes up their lives. I do not want to be one of those numbers that are messed up, and therefore I believe in family first, family time first. And but we enjoy going for walks. We love walking. Now, ever since I had come back from having the virus, walking is a bit of a battle. But
Right.
my husband and I, he's actually started taking me out for a little longer walks each week to help strengthen my lungs. But we love doing stuff like we love going on holidays. We absolutely love going on holidays. Saturdays in the Gerald household is an outside fire or a braai. It's
Right.
cooking. So I love to cook for my family. There are days that I just don't want to cook, and there are days that I just want. Majority of the, I would say it less like this. Majority of the Saturdays, I love to cook for my family.
And I think that with the lockdown, a lot of us it brought our cooking skills, our Jamie Oliver skills.
Yes, well, see, I wasn't actually fortunate enough to enjoy being in lockdown like everybody else, because I come from a FMCG industry. So
Right.
our was deemed as one of the most essential services ever, apart from your hospitals and polices and stuff. So I literally worked the position that I had during lockdown. I literally worked through lockdown.
Wow.
So there was not much of a lockdown for me, but I did manage to get bread done, which I was so proud of.
Well done.
I done did a what is this? Those the two ingredient naan, which I was so proud
Yes.
of myself, because I'm a hope. I'm being honest. I'm one of the things about me, Kirshni, is I'm very honest. I'm the one of the worst around. I can even take a box, premixes, and I can spoil premixes. So when it comes to cooking, I'm spot on. I think my husband would say yes. Yeah, I'd rather stick to cooking than baking.
Well, you definitely make up for it in other ways, Lisa, I'm sure. So coming back, what can we expect from Lisa Gerald in the future? Would you mind telling us your plans?
Oh wow! Yes, there are some very major. I wouldn't say improvements, but I would say there's some major things happening that are in the pipeline. There's a few more tracks that's going to be released in the next few months. We actually have started working on the next one. I'm probably going to be in studio next week or the week after to actually get the song tracked. But we have a lot of other stuff that's happening, which I'm not at liberty to say at the moment. It's going to
Right.
be really good for the people around us. It makes me feel proud to be a South African Indian that's actually going to get involved in this. So, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of stuff when lockdown is over. Hopefully, we can get some workshops going. We can get some vocal coaching stations placed up now and again here all over KZN. That's one of my visions, to set up these little satellites where you can go in once a month and help people, train people, and not even sometimes for a fee, because a lot of people want to have the skill, but the pocket is a bit tight,
Yes.
So my desires is actually to empower. That's Lisa, somebody that wants to empower others, not more me. Then I would love to see others grow faster than anything that I have accomplished.
Wow, Lisa, that sounds really amazing, for the future. And I look forward to watching all of this unpack with regards to that. So tell me something, you spoke about vocal coaching and vocal training. If there are people out there that are looking to contact you with regards to this, or even your social media handles, how do we get in contact with you? How do we follow you?
Okay, so you can like my page on Facebook. There is a personal profile which is maxed out. So if people are, I've seen a whole lot of invitations yesterday, and unfortunately, I'm not able to accept it because it's actually maxed to capacity. But the
Yes.
page is Leesa Gerald. It's the Leesa Gerald page, and you can like that page and you can inbox me directly from the page. Or if you're on Instagram, I'm on Instagram, Leesa Gerald. You can just search, and I'm sure you'll find me. There's not many Leesa Geralds in this world,
Yes.
so we'll be able to find this Indian chick on Instagram. And well, I'm just on Instagram and Facebook. And oh, please don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel. You can also
Yes.
contact me on my YouTube channel. And that's about it.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I was gonna add, that your video break is on YouTube. I mean, I've already watched it a couple of times. I'm sure everyone else is looking forward to watching you perform this, and it's so beautiful. When I watched it, the first thing that came to mind is that it's simple, it's down to earth, and it's straight to the point. It's stunning.
I think that song is actually me as a whole. I'm simple. I don't like, well, I only have to dress up because I have to dress up. I come to, if you see me anywhere, I'm simple. I don't like to overdo my face or overdo dressing up. I'm to the point, and nothing hectic about me. I think that song actually is me explained to capacity.
Most definitely. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us here today and for sharing with us your life and your journey. And we wish you everything of the best for the future, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you so much, Kirshni. Thank you for having me. It's such a privilege and it's such an honor to actually have been on your show, and I really appreciate it. It's not many DJs that actually invite local artists, to come on and give them this opportunity. I think we need a whole lot of DJs like you that will actually take the time to say, hey, listen, let's start promoting and pushing our
Most
local
definitely.
artists. Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you, Lisa, again, and you take care. Bye.